Blast me to the Gnarlwood! It's time for the Mad Merlins unboxing of Warhammer Underworlds Gnarlwood, core set by Games Workshop. Hello everyone and welcome back to another Mad Merlins unboxing. So today, after about 2 months of waiting, I finally have the Warhammer Underworlds Gnarlwood starter set. So I ordered this at the back end of October/November time when I had my Warhammer Plus voucher, so saved a little bit of money on it. And the first one went missing, and the second one, after a bit of a delay, turned up at my neighbour's. So yesterday I went down and picked it up, and I can't wait to dive into this. So before we get into things, don't forget to, of course, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you don't already, and drop a comment in the comment section down below, as I like to hear back from all of you. But without further ado, let's dive into it. So first off, what is Warhammer Underworlds? Well, Warhammer Underworlds is a deck building skirmish tabletop game where players pit warbands against each other in quick skirmishes to earn glory and deal death in the various worlds of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So in this set we are entering the bestial realm of Gur, and within it the Gnarlwood, where the very trees are alive and will most likely hurt you, if not kill you. And this set pits the Slaves of Darkness warband against a Soulblight Gravelords warband. And if we turn it around here, we can see the contents. So our full contents are 4 Gnarl Spirit Packs. So these are the Slaves of Darkness warband. They're Dark Oath, but they are very dedicated to the bestial realm itself. We have 5 Sons of Velmorn fighters. So we've got King Velmorn himself there, plus his 4 sons. We got 9 double-sided fighter cards, 32 card Gnarl Spirit rival deck, 32 Sons of Velmorn rivals deck, 32 Tooth and Claw rivals deck cards, and a 32 card Daring Delvers rival deck. So we get 4 decks in this, 1 for each of the warbands and 2 generic ones which can be used by any warband, which is a little bit different to what it used to be. It used to just be a bunch of extra random cards that you could add to your collection. We have 114 tokens, a 56-page rulebook, 2 double-sided game boards, and 11 dice, which are in a nice green, brown, and orange colour, which fits perfectly with the realm we are in. So all these models are push-fit models, so you can get them together and on the tabletop pretty quickly, and they are in coloured plastic. And we have our decks, so select the deck you want, open it, shuffle it, and straight away play. Or you can, I believe for the tournament side of this, you can still build your own decks. But there is now the Rivals format, which is the going to be the basic for going forward for most of these formats for the games. So yeah, we'll look into that in a minute on the inside. So yeah, 2 players, 30 minutes, and ages 12 plus. There is, of course, rules. You can play, I think it's up to like 4 players. You just get 4 boards, 1 board each. Your warband and your cards, and obviously your own dice, so you know who, what is what, and who is who. So let's crack her open, and we'll see what's inside. So remember, always cut away from yourself with knives, and if you're under the age of 18, seek adult supervision. So, here we go. throw that away. Excuse me. I'll just quickly adjust the bit here so you can see better. There we are. So let's take the lid off this and we'll have a look at our contents. Really on there tight. There we go. Whew, that was way more effort than it needed to be. Right, so first off we have our decks of cards. Put those off to the side for a moment. We have our baggy of dice. So we got our spell dice in brown, our attack dice, and our defense dice there in sort of an ochre and a nice dark foresty green. So we got I've forgotten the name already. Gnarlwood Spirit Packs frame there. Very cool. And we have Valmorn's Fighters frame there as well. So it looks really good. So underneath we've got all our card components. So we have our instructions. So all models are push fit, so it doesn't take very long to put them together and get them on the tabletop. So yeah, pretty cool. We have our rule book here. So on the back we got our basic rundown rules. We got the boards, and then we got all our reference and everything there. So we'll have a look through that in a minute. And finally we have all our boards and our cardboard tokens. And an empty box. Woo! Right, so we have nice lot of stuff to go through, so we will start with the goodies. So we'll start with Valmorn and his sons, and as you can see it's in a nice yellowy bone colour. It does come over more grey on the camera though. I think it's the light doesn't help either. But yeah, it's actually a nice yellowy bone colour. But we got lovely moulded details on the shields and the weapons. There's lots of furs, chainmail, and of course plenty of bone because they're skeletons. And nice rusted armour. So really good. And we have a new type. We have a rather brutish large skeleton. So I'm hoping that might be a little bit of a hint as to what's coming in the near future for the Soul Blights. But we have, most of these guys are just Graveguard. And then we got a White King there. On the other side, we just got the insides of all the models. So nothing too pretty there. But we got some lovely molded detail on the underside of the shields there. And we even got this guy's full rib cage there. So that's pretty cool. And now we have the Gnarl Spirit Pack. So these are, like I said, Dark Oath, Barbarian type Worshippers of Chaos. But they are more given over to their bestial forms than some of the other followers. Which is pretty cool. I believe there's a mechanic where they can swap sort of between their bestial forms and their mortal form. But all in all, we got some rather nice models. There's lots of furs, hair, feathers, bone, wood, cloth, and of course plenty of flesh there as well. And these guys are going to look really good painted up. Nice scenic bases there, rather simple, which is pretty cool. But yeah, all in all, they look really nice. There's the underside again, nothing too different. nothing really to write home about. It's all pretty much the same. So yeah, there we have that. Alright, next let's have a quick flick through our rulebook. So here we have our rulebook, nicely done as always with these Underworlds rulebooks. So we got a little bit of information there, sort of setting the scene. We've got background on Gnarlwood and the different areas of Fondia, which is the main landmass in Gur, where a lot of the most current events are happening. So here we see the Gnarlwood is down here. So yeah, more information about the Gnarlwood. As I said, the trees are pretty much alive. Everything is alive in the realm of beasts. So just watch your step. Bit of background about both the warbands here, including their leaders, looking very awesome there. And then we got our contents and what everything else is. So we got our Gnarl Spirit Fighters cards plus their deck, the Sons of Elmorn fighter cards plus their deck. Then we have the Tooth and Claw deck and the Daring Delvers deck. So these are our generic decks. So tokens and cards wise, we get 38 glory tokens, 8 activation tokens, 24 wound counters, 6 raise counters, 13 move and charge tokens, 13 guard and stagger tokens, 2 snare hex tokens, a double-sided scatter token, 9 double-sided feature tokens which represent the area's tactical importance as well as treasures. And finally we have our 2 boards. Oops, excuse me, which are double-sided. And both look rather quite nice. So there we have a picture of both warbands as they are fully built and painted. So we got Gaul Spinehammer, Crimson Kiera, Lupan Longcut, and the leader is Sarakar Blackwing. Then for the Sons of Elmorn, we got Fane, fourth and last, Marshal Falk Velmorn, King Morlach Velmorn, Sir Jedran Falseborn, and Helmar the Hewer. And now we're going to start going into some of the rules and the basics for the game. So traits, decks, what the cards are. So quick breakdown of each of the different sections on the cards. The breakdown of the battlefield. So we have no man's territory, and then we have each side is a person's territory. So how to play the game. So we set up, then we have our 3 rounds, and then we determine the victor. So placing the boards, 3 sort of basic setups for the boards. There are other ways, but I believe you have to have a minimum of 4 completed hexes in order to have a legal attachment to from board edge to board edge. So now we're going into the rules more. So for setting up, so we place our feature tokens, we draw our starting cards, then we place our fighters. Then for the action phase, we start our turn with the activation and power step. And then each player's turn also includes a number of minor steps, so reaction step, inspire step, and surge steps. So then we break down all the turns. So the activation step is you choose a fighter to activate, put a token next to it. You can then move, either attack, guard, or charge with it. You can, instead of making activation, either draw a card, discard an objective and then draw a new objective, or pass. So details move actions, placing your different tokens, attack actions, how line of sight works, how a fight or attack action is resolved, about support, damage, and healing. And finally, out of action, which is when a fighter is defeated. There are, of course, some warbands that allow fighters to return. I'm looking at Skaven and Undead mainly. So, we've got special rules for attack actions. So, some attacks will have Cleave, Ensnare, Grievous, etc. So, guard action and a charge action, and how to cast spells as well. And then finally, there's the power step, which is at the end of each turn. So we play power cards, and then we can instead, if you want to delve, so you flip a token over to, I have to read it. When you do so, they stagger that fighter. Each player can only delve a feature token once in each power step. So yeah. So we're learning a bit more advanced rules about modifiers, how scatter works, reactions, timings for reactions, which is a pretty good, nice, easy table there to figure out. And the end phase, of course, this is where we play our cards, score out objectives, etc. And then, of course, repeat for turns 2 and 3, and then finally discover victory. So yeah, here's multiplayer games. So we can do 4 players or even 3 players. Order of play, rules, placing feature tokens, objective cards, etc. Most of the rules will be the same, but you do have to factor in for an additional player or 2 players. And then we have our glossary at the back. So all your keywords, etc. are covered here. Overview of the boards. And of course a turn sequence and reference section. All right, let's take a look at our tokens and boards. So, now our first board here, might have to zoom it out a bit. There we are. So this one's got some nice trees, bamboo sort of platforms, and danger areas as well as vines. And this side is more of a almost spidery web, but it looks wooden as well, so it's very hard to tell. But we've got sort of like living trees that have consumed an unwary adventurer. And then we have our other board. So we got the green side. Looks very spectacular and spooky. And then we got this side, which matches up nicely to the other one that has the very similar terrain features. So yeah, all in all, really cool boards, and add to my collection. Then of course we get our 2 frames of tokens. So I have plenty of tokens already. The only things I'll be punching out are the objective tokens and possibly the ones for the stagger, because I haven't had any of them. They're fairly new additions. But I have wound and glory tokens to spare, so these can be pretty much left unpunched. So yeah, really nicely done cardboard tokens. As I said, double-sided. So yeah, all in all, quite nice. Okay, next up we can have a look at all the different decks. So we'll zoom back in and I'll get the cards out. So here we have our decks, and luckily the packaging's damaged already, so I don't need to spare bit of card, always come in handy. So we got rather generic decks. So Daring Delvers and Tooth and Claw. And how the decks will be used. So we'll keep that to the side for the moment. And we will focus here more on the actual warbands. So we'll start with the Gnarl Spirit deck. So we've got a card list there of what cards go into this deck, which is pretty handy. So we have our fighters. So the Inspiring condition is it is the Inspire step after you removed a spirit counter from the board. So obviously that plays into some of the new game features. Very Predator-esque, this guy, I think. Yeah. So we got all their different attacks and the stats there. So a movement of 4, 2 defense, 4 wounds. His staff can hit 2 hexes away with 2 attacks and 2 damage each. And his Raptor Bolt is 3 hexes range, a spell dice, and 1 damage. He has the Struggle, so we'll look at that on there. And Overcome, while this fighter has 1 or more spirit counters, it has +2 move, is a beast, is flying, and cannot be inspired. So yeah. So Struggle we'll look at, as it's pretty much unique. So at the start of the fighter's activation, you can give this fighter a spirit counter or remove this fighter's spirit counters. So there we go. So yeah, you can either swap between your beast mode or your normal mode. I forgot to show off, but here we have the inspired side. So usually we get some form of improvement. In this case, not a lot really. Well, we get stagger and it's knockback 2 instead of knockback 1 on his hammer. So pretty cool. Crimson Kira. So she's got a pair of clawed axes and a berserker assault. And she has the unleash rule, so criticals, grievous 1 and scything if this fighter is in beast form. There's her inspire side. And finally Lupin Longcut. So he has impact, so +1 damage when you make a charge action with this guy. And he has the same rules as everyone else's. And there's his inspire side. So we got our Gambit cards. So Dulling Venom, Fierce Competition, Hasty Pillage, Hunting Aspects, In Control, Self-Command, Spurred Onwards, The Binding, Vicious Blow, Violent Transformation, Brute Resilience, Den Breaker, Envenomed Spurs, Preternatural Senses, Raging Companion, so these are some of the upgrade cards, Surfaced Instinct, Trophy of Fortitude, Trophy of Strength, Trophy of Vision, Wily Hunter. And now on to our objective cards. So Oath of Fortitude, Oath of Ruin, Oath of Slaughter, Oath of the Hunt, Rapid Raid, Raise and Pillage, Return to Ruin, Savaged, Shocking Raid, True Selves, Well Rewarded, Worthy Deed, and there we have it. So that's the Gnarl Spirits. Now we'll take a look quickly at the Sons of Velmorn deck. So we got all our fighters. So their inspired condition is an attack action results in a critical hit if this fighter was the attacker or supported the attacker. So that's cool. Keep you guys together and get plenty of inspiring. So Sibling Rivalry is one of their unique reaction. So after the final power step of the round, inspire one friendly fighter that has this ability. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'll show their inspired sides. So we have Helmar, Falk or Falk, Jedran, and Thane. And of course, King Velmorn himself, so he has a deadly command reaction after this fighter's activation. Give this fighter a command counter. While this fighter has one or more command counters, it is supporting each friendly Graveguard. So clear these counters at the end of the action phase. So this guy counts as being supportive regardless of where he is on the battlefield, as long as he has those counters on him. It's pretty cool. So his gambits are Deadly Maneuver, Decapitating Blow, Father's Pride, Imperious Will, Redoubled Fervor, Rise Again, Shaishian Infusion, Spike of Terror, Surprising Swiftness, Velmorn's Curse. His upgrades, or the upgrades, are Experience of Ages, Familial Bond, Favoured Son, Fearless Lunge, Fell Enchantments, Heirloom Weapon, Lord of Bones, Praetorian, Proud Son, and the Crown's Curse. And the deck's objectives: Absolute Monarch, Clinical Efficiency, Dispassionate Slaughter, Hereditary Claims, House Eternal, Inevitability Itself, Martial Lord, Morbid Majesty, Protected Inheritance, Regal Riposte, or Riposte, shall I say, Relentless Unity, and Vying for Favour. So I think I'll leave these for a separate video, as they're already ticking on to half an hour. But these decks are pretty cool. They're ideal to use with, like I said, any warband. Again, we've got a deck list there, and a little bit about what's happening in the story. So if you include one or more cards in your decks that bear the Tooth and Claw symbol, show this card to your opponent to reveal your warband step. And use these rules in your game. At the start of a friendly fighter's activation, you can stagger that fighter. A fighter in any warband is savage, while any of the following are true. So that fighter has one or more charge tokens, is staggered, or has 2 or more wound counters. Now we have Daring Delvers. So the plot: if you include one or more of these cards in your deck that bear the Daring Delvers symbol, show this card to your opponent in the Reveal Your Warband step and use these rules for the game. So your exploration count starts at 0 and increase your exploration count by 1 when you place a feature token during a round. At the end of an action phase, for each friendly fighter that is on a feature token that is not in your territory. At the end of the activation phase, for each surviving friendly explorer that is not in your territory. During your exploration, decrease your exploration count by 1. At the beginning of each round, for each enemy fighter that is on a feature token in your territory. That's pretty cool. So some extra little bonus bits to add to your games. Right. Finally then, we got our dice. Nothing too special here. They're the standard Warhammer Underworld dice. So we've got a nice brown, ready brown there for our spell dice, an ochre for our attack dice, and a lovely dark green there for our defense dice. So that's pretty cool. Right then, we're at the end of the review, so let's bring everything back in and I'll give you my final thoughts as well as the price. So there we have the Warhammer Underworlds Gnarlwood core set for the Warhammer Underworlds system by Games Workshop. So my final thoughts of this set is it's yet again another wonderful set. Pretty cool warbands. I think my favourite has to be the Sons of Velmorn. I love the classic skeleton warriors. Plus their colour scheme is very similar to the old colour scheme I used to do for my skeletons back in the day. I do quite like the Dark Oath Savages as well, the Gnarl Spirits as they're called. They have a really nice aesthetic, and like I said, that one guy looks very Predator-esque with that face mask there. But yeah, all in all, two rather nice warbands, and I'm looking forward to painting these guys up soon. I still got actually my Underworlds Nevermaze ones to finish painting, as well as the Crimson Court. So yeah, I'm a bit behind on a lot of my warbands. But these guys will be done at some point, hopefully before the next set comes out. Well, the next set depends on the warbands as to whether or not I will buy it. But there we have it. So price for this set is you are paying £65 for the two warbands, the tokens, the boards, the rules, and all your cards and dice. So that's not too bad a price for a complete game in a box. Of course, you can add to this with individual warbands, card sets, etc., which are available separately on the Games Workshop website. I did get a little bit of discount, as I mentioned. I used my Warhammer Plus voucher, which is £5, so I only paid £60 for this myself. And with the amount of trouble it went through to get here, I really wish they could have given me a little bit of a compensation return, but it is what it is. So yeah, I think this is a brilliant set. If you haven't gotten into Underworlds or you want to continue collecting it, pick it up already. I am late, of course, covering this set, as I mentioned earlier. But, like I said, great set, and I've pretty much picked up near enough all the core sets that have come out. I think the only ones I skipped was the one with the Lumineth and Slanesh, and the one with the Stormcast and Cruel Boys, because not many of those warbands really tickled my fancy. But I've pretty much picked up every other set of this. It's a really good game system. I love it. You can easily play it in a couple of hours, depending on how good you are at your reading and your tactics. If you want a slightly easier way of getting into it, there's the starter set, which is available all year round. These core sets here are actually only available season to season, so I believe they've gone now to each season being 6 months instead of it being a whole year. So we're now only getting one core set, and I think it's about 3 or 4 warbands per season. So yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot more releases for Underworlds in the near future. The next warband out is one I'll be picking up. It's a new Daughters of Cain warband. So yeah, definitely picking it up to add to my ever-growing collection of warbands. So let me know what you think of this set in the comment section down below. Are you going to be picking it up? Has this video persuaded you, if you've been on the edge of picking it up or not? And yeah, let me know what perhaps your favourite Underworlds warband is. Is there one you've always been playing with? And if not, is there one you're looking forward to that's coming out in the near future? For me, it's anything rat-shaped, really. Although I do have a soft spot for the undead as well as the Daughters of Cain. They are all pretty nice warbands and have some nice different aesthetics to each other. But there we have it. So, thank you all for watching. Of course, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel for more mad content from myself, and, of course, there are all my links in the description down below. So, thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.